Hey there, thanks for joining me. My name is Mary and this is my garden. So I want to take you on a tour. It is August 8th and there is a ton of things happening. Things are still looking different day by day. They've kind of slowed down a little bit, but definitely since my last garden tour video, there's still a lot of new things. So I really want to show you them and I'm excited to do it. All right, before we get into it, a few things about my garden is that I'm in Michigan, so I'm in zone 6A. This is my first year gardening, so we chose to do raised beds and this long trellis along the back for vining vegetables. My husband and I built these beds all winter long, getting ready for this gardening season. Gardening is something that we knew we wanted to do for a long time, and when we found this house that we just got a year ago, this was the perfect place for it. We actually changed locations of the backyard where we were going to put the garden a couple times, but landed on this space and love it. It's in the sun almost all of the day. The only shade that it's getting is from big things like the corn. It's been raining pretty frequently this summer. I don't know if it's always been like this or if I've only noticed it now because it matters to me now with a garden. But every 3 or 4 days we've gotten a really good rainstorm. So I haven't really had to water by hand as much as I thought I would have to, which works out because I did not put an irrigation system in, and I'm glad that I didn't take that extra time to do it because I wouldn't need it so much. So yeah, I haven't had to water by hand too much. It's been mostly just rain. And let's see what else. Yeah, learning a lot of good lessons along the way. So I've been sharing that here on my channel. Hopefully you've been kind of watching along with me as I learn these lessons and you're learning some things yourself. But if you're new here, I just wanted to get you familiarized with what's going on. And with that, I will continue the tour. All right, so here's my potatoes. I thought these would die back like a few weeks ago, but they're still kicking. They're still very green. They fell over from one of the rainstorms, so they've been kind of trailing over the beds, but I've been picking them up and throwing them back in just to make it easier to walk through, especially on that side. But they haven't died back yet, so I'm thinking maybe another couple weeks and I'll be able to harvest them. I also have some cilantro that I tried putting in here and it didn't work out so well. I never actually got to even harvest any, but now it's going to seed, which is pretty, and maybe I'll get some seed out of it. I don't know, but that's kind of mixed in there too. You can see on this side, it's definitely died back more. Like you can tell that it's been dying back. So hopefully hopefully it'll all turn yellow and start dying back, because with potatoes, you want them to completely die off before you harvest them, just to make sure that they got the biggest that they could get. I'm also dealing with Japanese beetles. They don't really seem to be an issue with the potatoes. Like, they're obviously eating some of the leaves, but I don't think that's really too harmful. Where some of the other things you'll see later on, you can see that have, they've gotten pretty well eaten by Japanese beetles. There's some new things going on with this bed. So I still have my carrots here. I've harvested some of them and have eaten them. They're delicious, amazing. I've gotten some good sized ones, so I'm definitely excited about that. And as fun as it would be to have a whole video where I just pull them all out and have this huge bouquet of carrots, I want to keep them in there and only pull them out when I need them, so that I don't have to worry about them going bad. The soil is just kind of gonna keep them good for me, so I'm gonna keep them in there. Actually, I'll pull one for you guys. Let's see if I can find a good one. Oh, I'll do this one. All right, let's see what we got. Oh yeah. Not bad, huh? Gotta love it. I'm tempted to keep all of the carrot tops because each one has quite a lot. Because I've seen people make like carrot top pesto and different things like that. Curious about it, not sure that I will do it because I know I'm gonna have a lot of like basil and things to make pesto with, but I don't know, might be worth it. Okay, so next is the Brussels sprouts. This used to be lettuce here, but I pulled that out when it was ready to come out. And then the Brussels sprouts kind of took over that space and even started to lay into the carrots. So I had to prop up, this one especially was the one that was kind of flopping over here and taking out the carrots. So I propped that up and it seems to be doing okay. We had a lot of caterpillar worm damage on the Brussels sprouts. Every day I've been coming in here and checking to make sure there aren't any more, and I found, ooh, see, there they are. Those ones look different. Those are little worms. So I don't know. I don't know if it's the same thing. The other ones that we were dealing with were like fuzzy and green. So I don't know if maybe that's just like the baby version of it. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to get those out. But yeah, quite a lot of damage was going on here, and so that's something that we've been watching. But it is cool to see the little Brussels sprouts being formed. So that's that. This sad space, well, this is fun. My Love Lies amaranth and my pinwheel to keep out all the bad things. This, if you have seen any of my previous videos, this was a big zucchini plant, and recently it rotted out. I'm not sure if it was old like vine borer damage or if it was just some kind of fungal thing, if it just got too wet at the leaves or anything. I don't know what was going on, but I pulled that out. It wasn't producing anymore anyway, so I just thought something was wrong. You can kind of see my old videos and kind of go through that whole heartbreak with me, but that zucchini plant is gone, so I'm looking to fill this space for the fall. Then some marigolds that have kind of gotten choked out throughout the year, so it finally has some time to breathe. And our spaghetti squash, which I just pulled a really big one off of that yesterday, and there's a few more growing. So we got one there. And here, and then another one starting right there. One of the biggest lessons I've learned about this space is that the zucchini was very large, the spaghetti squash is very large, and then at the end of the bed I have my pumpkins, and those are very large. So everything is kind of running in together. I can't even walk through here anymore. So I have to be more strategic about what I'm putting and where and how much space it's going to take up, because I want to still have these plants in my garden, but I want to spread them out and make sure that my vines aren't going to cross over too much, because as you can see, the spaghetti squash was kind of going into the pumpkin land. So soon I'm going to lose it and I'm not going to be able to find the spaghetti squash, which probably isn't that big of a deal because they'll probably, you know, ripen on the same timeline. But it's just something that I didn't really think about. Something that you kind of have to learn with experience, honestly, because you can see all the spacing needs for everything, but until you really see it and see how big they get and see how it overflows, that'll just, you know, inform me for next year and make it even better. So anyway, okay, so we still have a lot of spinach growing. I've harvested good amounts, like twice now. I haven't really used it as much as I thought I would, so I haven't come out here to harvest as much, but I have harvested quite a lot from here, and it's been going strong, so that's there. Then here, my dill is kind of falling over. There's the dill and that little rosemary guy. I haven't harvested any rosemary yet. I've honestly just forgotten about it, because you can see it's kind of hard to find, but maybe I will soon. And then here in this space, I sowed more beets, radishes, and then golden beets. So those are starting to slowly come up. The radishes are looking pretty good. There. And then golden beets. And then there we've got some Swiss chard that has gotten pretty big. That was just a little bitty last time, so that's doing well. Then my sage, my pineapple sage. Again, if anyone knows any recipes for pineapple sage other than tea, I'd love to hear them, because I'm not a huge tea person. I definitely will try it, but I have a lot going on there, so probably can use it more than just tea. But anyway, then here are the pumpkins and another fallen dill. I don't know if I let them get too big so they fell. Maybe they need to be staked up, but the bees are loving those flowers that I left on. Pumpkins. The pumpkins are one of my favorites, one of my husband's least favorite, because you can see he has to like carefully weed whack around the vine, and I'm watching him with a very close eye to make sure that he's not nicking the vine or anything like that, but he's done a pretty good job. But yeah, they're kind of hard to manage. I think I want to put them on a trellis next year to clean this up a little bit. It's just honestly a little overwhelming. I mean, it's very cool to see it all just spread out. And I think a big pro to having it this way is the vine is then rooting into the ground. So it's getting more energy for the pumpkins that I wouldn't have if I put it on a trellis. You know, I've gone through here and tried to move some of the vines, and it's in there pretty good. So I know they've got more roots than just what's in the raised bed. So maybe that's enough reason to keep it this way and just figure out where these vines can crawl out in a way that makes sense. Next year, we're also hoping to have wood chips in the pathways. So maybe that would make it easier. My husband won't have to weed whack around it. And I think they'll still be able to root through the wood chips. So I don't know, just something to think about. I'm not 100% sold on the trellis idea yet, but the idea of getting them off the ground, being able to see the leaves, because I have a lot of squash bugs and squash bug eggs everywhere, and I just can't catch them all. I can't find them all. I can't go through here and look under every single leaf. Having them overhead makes the thought of that a little bit better, just thinking that I could walk under it and see the leaves above me and see where I have eggs. I don't know, definitely gonna have to weigh the pros and cons. If you have experience with either way and you wanna help me out in my decision, what are your pros, what are your cons for trellising versus letting your pumpkins go on the ground? I'd love to hear it. This is my big jack-o'-lantern. He's just now turning orange. There's grasshoppers everywhere. It's insane to me. But anyway, just starting to turn a little bit yellow and get some orange color on it. So that's exciting. I've got another one over there. And then one of these vines over here, I kind of turned my pumpkins so that they're not all on the same side all the time, so they kind of look gross right now. But this, look, it's like twins. So this vine, if you look down there, we have twin pumpkins here, which I thought was just like a weird thing, like a one-off oopsie. But then continue, 2 more twins. I hope these got pollinated. I really don't know. I don't know. They kind of look small. But anyway, look at that. So, sorry, my husband's cutting the grass. So, well, and there's that. Lots of noise all the time. But anyway, my husband's cutting the grass. So if you can't hear me and you can hear that more, I'm sorry. But yeah, twin pumpkins too. I've quadruplets on that vine right now. So I don't know. I thought that was really cool. I don't know if that's normal. I don't know if that's abnormal. I know I've never seen 2 pumpkins grow off of the same place like that. So I don't know. That's pretty cool. So everything over there is the jack-o'-lantern. And then here is the sugar pie pumpkin. So these ones will be a little bit smaller, but look, that is still pretty big. And that one is also turning orange. That was the first one that came off of that. And then one more here, turning yellow, and the next one there. And I believe there's a couple more. Oh yeah, there's another one starting out really there. And then there's another one back here somewhere. Yeah, right there. So and then that's where the spaghetti squash is. So this whole area is just pumpkin and squash leaves galore. So definitely a lot of squash bugs are having a party over here. It's kind of hard for me to find them all, but we're doing the best we can. While I'm on that same topic, I should show you that right here is another spaghetti squash. I'll take you over there in a minute, but that is coming over here. And then this was an extra sugar pie pumpkin that I thought, you know, why not have more? So I put that in the empty space here. And that is trailing out here where it meets up with the rest of its pumpkin friends. So I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I do. Little baby right there. But man, it is overwhelming, the amount of pumpkin vines going everywhere. So probably don't need as many next year. Whatever. It was fun. I wanted to try it out. And I wanted to use up all the space that I had. So that's why I did that. Oh, and there's another one here too. So yeah, I'm going to have a lot of sugar pie pumpkins. Lots of pumpkin pie. Okay, so in this bed, I have my determinate tomato here that I wanted to separate from the rest of the tomatoes. And I used the tomato cage, even though everybody says not to, because it's not sturdy enough, it's not big enough, it's not strong enough. I learned my lesson the hard way. It's really flopping over and it doesn't want to stay up. So it's kind of sad. I'm still able to get tomatoes off of it, and I'm still able to get in there and find the ripe ones. It has a ton of tomatoes, so that's very exciting. I just want to have a better support system for next year. Then these are my green beans. I already harvested a lot off of these, and I don't know, I think they might be done. They're getting like flat and curled up rather than like long and skinny. And like here, these ones look good, but there's just not many of those left. When I look around, it kind of looks like they're definitely slowing down. So I don't know if it's time to pull these out. I haven't done enough research to see like when you're supposed to take the plants out. I obviously haven't gotten that far. But see, there's still flowers, so maybe it's still going. I don't know. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Is it time to take these out? If not, when is the time to take these out? I've gotten 2 big harvests off of them and then a little bit here and there. So I know they kind of come in flushes. I don't know how many to expect. So yeah, any insight you want to share, I'd love to hear. Then after that are my onions, which I'll show you closer up because we did a little experiment with those. Actually, I guess I shouldn't say experiment, but I fertilized them and I spooned them and I took off the leaves that were starting to crimp in an effort to have them bulb up a little bit more and just grow bigger in general, because as you can tell, the bulbs are kind of small. But I think the fertilizer helped. I think they've definitely grown more in the last little bit. The funny thing I just noticed though is that these ones are very small compared to these ones. And the sun shines more on these ones just because I have all these tomatoes here. So when the sun is at like noon to 2 maybe, the tomatoes are blocking these ones. So I think these ones are going to be smaller in general, but yeah, something I didn't really think about before. And it's interesting to see the big difference. Speaking of the tomatoes, they are huge. I had to add an extra support, little metal wire rack thing up there for my cherry tomato plant. I've gotten some to ripen, but it's been basically a waiting game for a lot of these. But they look so pretty, and my basil in between, this basil, the blue spice basil, got huge. So yeah, all good and exciting things around here. This is a pineapple tomato, which just started to blush, and I'm so excited. I think this is my biggest tomato. I mean, I'm just so excited to taste it, see what a pineapple tomato tastes like. I'm very excited about this guy. So hopefully I can pull that soon. Here we've got the zinnias and my first dahlia. It finally bloomed. You can see it's got another bud here. This I've been waiting for such a long time, it feels like. It finally opened up and I am very impressed. So I mentioned the other vine. We've got spaghetti squash galore on this. So you might have noticed my other spaghetti squash is green. My sister was having the same issue and she kind of looked into it a little bit, and it looks like it could have been from spaghetti squash seeds that were pollinated by a zucchini. Or it's just a green variety. It's just like spaghetti squash can come in different colors, so it could just be green. But she's got 2 plants that are green and she's got 2 plants that are yellow. It looks like I have one that's green and this one seems like it's gonna stay yellow. So just weird. I don't know if you know more information about that and you'd like to share, please do in the comments, because my sister's first time gardener too. She's done like pumpkins for a while, but this is her first time doing like veggies. So we're learning this now along the way. If you have any insight that you'd like to share, why it's green and why some are green, why some are yellow, the more information the merrier. But I'm just excited that I'm gonna get some good yellow spaghetti squash that I can save throughout the winter and store and have it for when the garden isn't producing things fresh anymore. I'm very excited for that. So it looks like we'll get a few good ones. All right, so now for the last bed. On the end, I have more beans. I started these ones later, so these are just starting to put out their first flush of green beans. I actually probably need to come through here and pick these because there's quite a bit. So that's exciting. I really wanted to have enough to can, but I don't think I'm gonna get there just because I've been getting like a handful here, a handful there. So it hasn't been enough to can, but you know, I can't imagine having more plants in this because this is just so many. But we've been really enjoying eating them fresh. We've had green beans as our side for dinner, probably like once a week, maybe twice a week. So that's been really enjoyable. So that was the spaghetti squash, and then across from it is my last zucchini, the one that made it. This I've also taken a lesson from. Oh no, this snapped. Anyway, I propped this up because it was starting to fall over on the green beans. So I've also did a major prune job because the leaves were coming out so far that I couldn't walk through here, which was just annoying. And I realized that, you know, all of the zucchini from down here have already come off, and it seems like only the leaves next to the fruit need to be there to support its growth. So I've just been trying to prune it. I've seen people grow zucchini vertically online, and that looks really cool to me because it's just kind of a big, overwhelming, bushy plant. So being able to slim that down a little bit is very appealing to me. You can see I kind of did that here recently. So yeah, that's my zucchini. I've gotten a ton of zucchini as expected. As I mentioned, I had that other plant. So I had 2 plants giving me zucchinis. I've made a lot of zucchini bread. I sliced them up and breaded them and put them in the air fryer as like zucchini chips. I made a really good zucchini and beef kind of casserole. It was like ground beef, zucchini, tomato sauce, and seasonings. Like that was pretty much the bulk of it, and it tasted really good. My husband loved it. So those are like the main things I've been making with the zucchini. If you have any other ideas or go-to recipes that you like to use with your zucchinis, please let me know. I would love to see how to better use my zucchini. We've of course just like roasted it and had it as a side dish. I've seen people can it. and use it as like a mock pineapple, or just like use it in different desserts and things like that. So yeah, if there's anything that you've tried that you really enjoy doing, let me know. We've reached the peppers. I have a mix of Hungarian hot wax, jalapenos, chili peppers, sweet bell peppers, and a habanero at the end. So I got a lot of peppers off of here recently. I came through and harvested, I think it was like 3, oh my gosh, the first red chili pepper. Oh, that's so exciting. I've been waiting for these to turn. Wow, I'm gonna have so many chili peppers. I have 3 plants that look just like this and are just covered. So that's really cool. Anyway, I got like 3 or 4 pounds of peppers off of these not too long ago, and all hot. So my husband and I made cowboy candy. He loves hot food, so it was kind of an act of love for him. He helped a lot. He cut all the hot peppers and his hands were like swollen and burning for 2 days straight. I'm just hoping that it's not too hot. It took a lot of sugar. If you've ever made it before, you know what I'm talking about. I'm just hoping it's not hot enough where I can't eat it. I'd love to try it and see if I like it, but most of these hot peppers are just for him. I don't like spicy foods and he loves them. So we've definitely grown a good amount of peppers and we put them to good use already. So anything else that comes out of here will just kind of be extra and fun things to either eat fresh with or just do something fun with. I took a few bell peppers off of here already, but it looks like I'm getting more. So that is great news. And here are the habaneros. And now the corn. It's very tall. It's probably 6 or 7 feet. Like with the raised bed. The raised bed is probably 1.5 feet tall. So I don't know how much that changes things, but it got pretty tall. I'm very excited about it because corn is my favorite vegetable. I'm so excited to have homegrown corn. So they're looking pretty good. They have grown their silks and tassels and everything like quite a while ago. So I'm kind of feeling them, and you know, they're definitely not ready yet, but I have a few good cobs calling my name. And we can't move on without acknowledging another dahlia. So pretty, love this color. Here comes my husband. But anyway, okay, so now we are at the end of my trellis, and these are some pots with the sweet potato in it. So we'll see if we actually get some sweet potatoes out from there. I don't know, but they look cool anyway. Lavender and flowers, and then here is one of the loofah plants that I have. So I put it up on this just to kind of give it somewhere to climb because it was really looking for climbing space, and I do have one here. Here we've got the cucumbers. Half of them are Marketmore 76 and half of them are pickling cucumbers. So I had to come through here and do some major pruning because they have some like downy mildew, I think. So I had to take a lot of leaves off and kind of help them train up the trellis, but they seem to be doing okay. I haven't really had the biggest cucumber harvest off of here. I've gotten maybe 7 total. With all these plants, I thought that I'd be getting more. So it's a little bit disappointing, but not everything can be a huge success. Not everything can be a huge win. The biggest thing that I'm not sure about is, you know, what to do different next year and how to improve them. So if you have any cucumber growing tips or ideas, please let me know. Half of them I did transplant, but then I went through and where they didn't really transplant well, I started them from seed. So I don't know, they all seem to kind of be on par with each other, whether they were transplanted or started from seed. So I don't know that that's really the answer. But yeah, I don't know, let me know your tips. Here is my tomato graveyard. Any of the suckers that I didn't have the heart to throw away off of there went and got planted here. And I actually have, yeah, let's see right here. I actually have some tomatoes coming off of it. So not all hope is lost for the old tomato suckers. Got more cucumbers. These ones were definitely all from seed. So you can see that they actually do look a little bit better, but they still are getting diseased. So I don't know, maybe I just have to figure out how to deal with downy mildew better for next year. This is a sad cantaloupe. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get anything before the season's over, or if I just did it, you know, with not enough time. It did take my husband and I a good month or two to put this trellis in. Just after we got all the raised beds all set up and figured out, then we came up with a plan for our vining things. So this did go in a lot later, as well as the watermelon. So I'm not sure that I'll get anything off of it. I wanted to at least give it a try though, so we'll see. And then here's another loofah. So I actually had my garlic planted in these pots. And when I harvested the garlic, I put some loofah seeds in. I wasn't really expecting a lot because I tried growing loofah from seed and it didn't work. But look at what I have. I'm hiding from the lawnmower so you can actually hear me. But yeah, I'm super excited that I'm actually growing loofah. Now I just gotta wait for it to dry out so I can harvest it and get those great sponges that I've been dying to grow. But yeah, that's a pretty good view of the garden anyway, so I think I'll end it here. Thanks for touring with me and seeing my updates to the garden now that it's August. I've been having mixed feelings about if it's growing well enough, if it's growing fast enough. I mean, who knows? Like, who knew the summer was gonna go by so fast that it's already August? And I don't know, I just feel like, am I harvesting enough? Is enough coming out of it? But then I have to catch myself and remember that I am gardening to learn all these lessons and learn how to become a good gardener. And you know, whatever food comes from it in the process is just a win. So I'm trying not to dwell on that stuff. But you know, it's always hard to see when you see so many different like gardening videos and gardening posts on Facebook and things like that where people are bringing in all this stuff. And when you're not bringing in as much as you kind of assume other people might be, I don't know, it just feels, it feels how it feels. But here's a friendly reminder to take a step back, be grateful for what you have, not compare it to what everybody else has or what everybody else is sharing. They might have dead zucchinis in their garden too. So I'm taking the good with the bad. I'm taking the wins with the losses. I've gotten a lot of great things out of that garden, so I'm definitely grateful for it. And I'm very happy to share it all with you. Thanks for following along. If you're new here, I hope you'll subscribe and continue to follow me on this journey. I've already shared a little bit of those lessons that I've learned so far, but I'm hoping to learn even more and write it down so that next year can be better than this year, and then better than that, and better than that, and just continue going on so that I can have a really fulfilling and happy gardening journey. It's not always going to be happy, I know that, but you get what I'm saying. Anyway, thanks for following along. Thanks for coming to take a peek in my garden. I hope wherever you're gardening is bringing you lots of joy and lots of zucchini and lots of tomatoes and lots of crazy pumpkin vines that are just overtaking your yard, because that's what I've got. All right, until next time, bye.